Hey gang, I'm here in the underground, secret underground, highly OPSEC facility of the Anti-Mosquitos Protectus. So, yeah, I went outside for 30 seconds and these bugs are trying to kill me. I think they think I'm a snack. That's because I'm so good looking. Anyways, um, guys, to continue, I'm gonna have to look into that later. To continue on what I was originally talking about yesterday on fear versus love and why we should function on the frequency of love, which is the frequency of Yah, of our Creator, okay, rather than function on fear. And the things that the thing is that we run on autopilot on so many programs, so many sets of indoctrination, so many sets of programs, right? Um, I'm gonna give you some perspective. Okay, right now, as a lot of you may know, this is we're in June, mid June of 2025, um, and we're currently mid to late June of 2025. We're currently in this time where I'm making this video, currently dealing with the situation of the immigrants and so classified by the mainstream media and government as illegal immigrants being deported by the you know gov entity of alphabet letters. Uh, so right now that's what's going on, right? Okay, so just to give you some perspective on utilizing the current events, on how it is that we choose love over fear. Okay, the same entities, the same systems that is telling us that that is right for men uh, equipped to inflict violence, men that are ready and equipped and trained to inflict violence upon other men, other individuals, under the premise that they have somehow crossed an imaginary line in in a in the time in the terrestrial plane that we have all been gifted with. Okay, that they have crossed some imaginary line and illegally have placed themselves. Now we have to understand who it is that made these rules from the beginning. Anyone that makes anyone I'm really trying. I'm trying to filter through all systems in place on this terrestrial plane are placed by the dark entities, the dark ones, the fallen ones, I should say. Forgive me for the lack of light. Darkness prevails, right? um, the fallen ones are the ones that have influence and uh, put in place in one way, shape, or another the systems that we normally run, quote unquote, normally run on from birth. All the systems in place, the borderlines, the way that our governments are ran. you know, a lot of people would agree if I were to say that no government is perfect. Yes, no government is perfect, and and no man in on earth is perfect. Okay, but there is a difference between being imperfect and striving for uh, not perfection. So you can either know that you're not perfect, and strive for perfection, seeking the one that holds perfection, or you can just uh, roll with the imperfection. Kind of like if you can't beat them, join them, kind of a thing, right? So what's going on right now is that we have a lot of emotions. A lot of people are full of emotions right now. Uh, a lot of them were rightfully so. This is what I see. I'm just going to tell you what I see. I don't vote left. I don't vote right. I don't care about politics in the way that I once did. I don't care about it at all in the sense of it's man-made. It's man-made, controlled by fallen entities to control us and to keep us separated from our creator. So I don't cater to any side of government, of any government. I believe that the government has the laws that we need to follow are already established, and those are the laws of our creator. And because of all the things that have skewed and misdirect us, we have no choice but to seek our creator in spirit and truth. In spirit, truth, humble heart, spirit, and in spirit, meaning we we pray, we seek wholeheartedly our creator. We make that transmission, we make that connection with our creator directly in full humility, telling him, hey, listen, I don't know what's going on. Help me. I'm lost and I need you to help me so that I can make a connection with you, like it just as simple as that, you know, and then everything else will follow. But what I'm seeing right now from a perspective of a man that is no longer, uh, I no longer subscribe to anything, any bit of detail that any form of media may tell me. Okay. I don't subscribe to it because there's no way of you telling if that it's a you can't. You can only subscribe to the love of your creator. That is the only thing you should worship and wholeheartedly believe in. Everything else, just let it be. Just, everything else, uh, as far as information goes, you can't set your foot down until the Spirit of the Father touches you and tells you and convicts you of that as being truth, you know? So, from my perspective, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing families, I'm seeing other men just like me, you know. When I say just like me, I'm not. I don't see mankind in, in a rainbow color, you know, layout. Like people, we black, yellow, white, brown. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about mankind. We're all create like if you cut everybody open, we all have the same blood. We're like our blood is red. You know, we all have the same skeletal structure. We all have the same. We're just like different breeds of the same animal. Okay, so get that. Just right now, just eliminate that out of the way. Mankind as a whole. I'm seeing other mankind as a whole. Neighbor, my neighbor, as in the Bible would describe my brethren, my neighbor. Okay, let's say neighbor. Let's not say brethren, as that implies that we have a commonality when it comes to our core belief system. Okay, and understanding of truth. But that's fine. Let's just say our neighbor, which our Messiah calls us to show kindness to and show the same love that we would show ourselves. Okay. Right now, I'm seeing our neighbors, not all criminals. I'm seeing more reports of individuals that were led in here by the same system of the devil under a different party name up there. I don't even want to mention names, when it comes to that. Different party name, which should have been pretty obvious, but when folks are desperate, they'll take whatever they can. So I understand that. So now they're paying the price for that, a price for taking that bait. And a lot of them had made their establishment here and started working. A lot of them, not all of them were criminals. Not all of them were criminals. Matter of fact, there's more hardworking. I have had the experience that there are more hardworking folks. Maybe 50-50. I don't know the numbers, but the ones that are making the news right now are a lot of hardworking family men and even women. You know, heck, I've even seen children at this point. I saw a report on children. Again, there's no way of telling what's what, but this is what I'm talking about: fear versus love. Okay, love versus fear. If we are to love our neighbors, first of all, we got to realize who is making these calls. Why are we blindly following? Why are we blindly following this set of rules that the system of the devil has implemented? Why do we follow that rather than to follow the laws of the Father? And if the laws of the Father are to love our neighbor, and my neighbor is doing nothing but building the stuff that I won't build, okay? Building the stuff that I won't build, working in the field that I won't work on, you know, doing all those jobs that so-called North American folks that, you know, everybody in the United States of America is an immigrant, except in the actual native, indigenous. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it 1,000%. Okay, so all of these so-called North Americans, okay, that say, oh, but like they're occupying our jobs illegally and illegally. Who made that the legality of putting an imaginary borderline? Why have we been so comfortable with being slaves? Every border, every border is the enclosement of a camp, of a plantation. Okay, it's like it's no longer about. See, they try to keep you thinking that it's about skin color. It's no longer about skin color. It's never been about skin color. They have utilized the skin color to keep us divided among ourselves. The reality is that there are groups that function with the entities that want to destroy the Father's creation. There's the Father's creation, and then there's those others. That's the fact. The fact is that we are all created in the image of our Creator. And the enemy, Hasatan, Satan, the devil, doesn't like that. So he tries to divide and conquer, you know. It's in their playbook. Divide and conquer, you know. So what I'm seeing, what I'm seeing is simple. I'm seeing neighbors. I'm seeing good men and good women, good family people that were running away from a oppressive situation. I myself, being a Cuban born, I was born in the island of Cuba. Okay, I came. My father, my terrestrial father, had to go through extensive, um, like he had to go through legal, government legalities that almost destroyed his mind. That they try to destroy your mind when you even get close to earning the right to get out of the country. And I don't know all of the details on how that happened. I don't know if it had anything to do with my dad being the son of a so-called Cuban patriot, fought against the Nazis in World War II. I don't know how he exactly did it, but I know that my father spent 2 years in the worst prison as a result of him wanting to get out of the country. My father spent 2 years in the worst prison that Cuba has, and mostly in solitary confinement, uh, naked, at times, and not knowing where when it's day or night because there were no light. Treated like an animal. My dad was treated like an animal for 2 years to earn the legal government legality of the right to be able to take out 2 to 3 family members out of the country legally at that time. Mind you, I'm 43 years old. I was 9 years old, turning 10 when this was when we finally left the island. Okay, so this is coming from a perspective of someone that has experienced true enslavement, someone that has experienced. Because I remember getting up and having my mother at the time, my caretakers, tell me, "Listen, you can't say anything that we speak about on this, in this house, because and you can't say anything out loud because the government minions will come and arrest us, and who knows when due process is, and or what due process is, or when you'll see a judge. They'll just lock you up in one of their jails, and good luck whenever they remember that you're there. You know what I mean? Like it's I, as a child, understand what quote unquote communism, quote unquote a dictatorship, an enslavement actually is. There's a lot of folks, even for the sake of 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 this conversation, Black American folks that don't truly understand what enslavement is. Even though there's a good argument that a lot of them have been submitted to enslavement, and all within the inner cities, because it's all by design to keep the inner cities in a state of frequency of fear, fear and ignorance, in order to manipulate them. Like, you got to understand, the prison system is a third party system. The prison system is a third party system, and it's not even owned by our so-called government, right? It's a third party system, and there's a lot of basically free labor that comes out of. The chances are that the license plate in your tag came from a prison. It is what it is, that and many other things, and they're done to like just about perfection, like these folks are basically laboring for free. Everything's connected, in the inner city. So like the hip hop, the the all this young people music, that invoke violence and vanity, of having all the flashy stuff, and like, oh, and if you mess with mine, I'll kill you, and all this, and let's sell drugs to get ahead, and all of this stuff. They're created. They're all in cahoots, the record labels and the music industry, and the prison systems, and the folks that run the inner cities, the folks that run the systems where these people are born in, where our neighbor are born in. It's all in cahoots. It's all in the attempt to enslave humanity, to keep us from reaching the consciousness, and make that transmission with our creator. Okay, so I'm trying to take you somewhere here. I'm trying to take you somewhere here. It's I we This is what I mean by, we need to drop all indoctrination. We have been highly indoctrinated. We have been highly programmed to constantly believe that that what we are born into is normality, and it's not. It's not natural. It's not a natural form of life. If we were born into a natural form of life, we would have no man over us telling us that there's an imaginary line over there that we can't cross. We would just inherently know that our neighbor, such and such, lives in that patch of land, and we respect it. See what I'm saying? But we don't have that. That has been burned out. That has been blocked off, because we have believed and yield more to the lie of fear than we have. And remember, everything derives, all of this senseless violence, all of this false sense of ownership, you know, all of this derives from the side of fear. None of it derives from the side of love, of God's, of Yah's love. Okay, and it's evident in the fact that there is like no due process. They don't care. As a matter of fact, I've even heard reports of some folks that have actually been citizens, already legalized, and have been got caught up in the midst of the grabs, and now they're they're dealing with their system, you know, which like apparently the guy, quote unquote, supposedly in charge right now has told this alphabet agency to like, hey, full tilt ahead, do what you must. So like we have to utilize our critical thinking. We have to think, guys, have to think and apply the principles of the Father's love, because it's beyond. When I say the word love, a lot of people think of like Valentine's hearts and candy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about love is truth. The Father's love is truth. Okay. It's compassionate. Yes, it's compassionate, it's understanding, it's graceful, but it's truth. Okay. We have to land on that truth and understand that right now things are not being things are not being fair to our brethren, to I'm sorry, to our neighbor. Our neighbors are not being are being treated fairly right now, because it's not just criminals that they're grabbing. They're grabbing folks that came with the wholehearted intent to feed their family and get out of the chaos of the crappy government system that was enslaving them. They're just trying to gasp for air, man. They're just grasping for air, just like my dad did, just like many others have. Okay, so I just wanted to throw this out there in some perspective, because again, I really try to stay away from these political subjects, and but there's no way around it. The devil is in the details, and these are the details that are being presented right now to wrap our minds, to wrap our brains, and to further distract us of what we truly should be focusing on. Because if this system ran on love, this none of this would be happening. If this system worked on love, you would see something other than violence and chaos on the news every time you turn that button. If you did, okay. So I just want to leave you guys with a little bit of that. What are we believing? What are we subscribing to? What do we subscribe to? Okay. Yes, I live in this country. Yes. But what is the difference between us to say that we are followers of the Messiah, of the only way to salvation? What is the difference between us and those that are blind? What are they blind to? What are we blind to? Okay? Seek the Father in spirit and truth. Seek, seek, seek. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be open. Anything you ask the Father through the sacrifice of his Son, through his Son, via the Holy Spirit, he will grant you according to his riches in glory. It is in Yah's, in our Creator's best interest for us to seek him. It's in our best interest for us to seek him. Therefore, he will not deny you access when you wholeheartedly seek him, rather than seeking an answer from outside sources. Okay? Be blessed today, as usual, and I'll try to gather more thoughts uh, soon to share with you guys. Shalom. Be blessed.